Today what we're talking about is calculating the volume of cones. So I'm gonna go over two examples, like how I did with the volume of cylinders. Before we get started, what you're gonna need is to open up the Desmos Scientific Calculator. So there's multiple ways of getting to this. On my website, I linked it in the description of this video. I posted on Google Classroom, or simply just type in Desmos Scientific Calculator into your browser and access it. Okay. All right. So before we get started, what we're going to need to know before we tackle this problem is what the formula for a cone is. So this is the volume of a cone, where from the top to the bottom is the height, and half of the circle or the base is the radius, and it's V equals 1/3 pi r squared times h. So it's pretty much the same thing as finding the volume of a cylinder, but at the end we're going to multiply it by 1/3 or divide it by 3. The same thing. So when doing this type of problem, it's the same thing as we did with the with the cylinder. Write V, pi, r, and h. I'm pretty much like rewriting the formula. Okay, V, or the volume, I don't know, so I'm gonna put a question mark. Pi is always 3.14. Now I want to find the radius. Well, if I look at the diagram, I have a 4 and then I have a 10. Well, and then I look on the top, it is halfway across the circle, so that means that this is the radius. So I'm gonna put it as r. So it'll be 4 inches for the radius, and then this is going to represent the heights. So the height would then be 10 inches. So that'd be the height, which is 10 inches. So once I have all the information, now I want to find the exact and estimated value. So I'm going to draw my t-chart. So with this t-chart, remember exact value and then estimated value. This is just a suggestion to use to help organize kind of like your work. In the exact value, I do not want to replace pi. I want to replace everything else except for pi. I want pi in my answer. Okay, so I'm going to go through from left to right. Well, V is just V because I don't know what it is. 1/3 is going to stay 1/3. Pi is going to stay pi. Now, for my R, or my radius, I know that I could change R into 4 because R is 4 inches. And then my H will change into a 10 because it's 10 inches for the height. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to figure out what this is going to equal. So if you need, you could use a calculator. So 4 squared times 10, put that in the calculator. So we're going to have 4 squared times 10. And then you're going to figure out that that's 160. So I'm going to change that to 160. So we have 160 pi and 1/3. And now I want to simplify this even further. So what I'm going to do is do 160 times 1/3, which it just simplifies into 160 divided by 3 pi inches cubed. Okay. And then to find the estimated value, I'm going to take this, I'm going to rewrite it, 160 over 3 pi. Now I'm going to replace pi with 3.14. So I'll have 3.14 for pi. Now I'm going to take all this information, substitute it into my calculator. So what I get when I write it into my calculator, I do 160 divided by 3 times 3.14. We get 167.46. However, if I round to 2 decimal places, this 6, what comes after is a number bigger than or equal to 5. That means I'm going to add 1 to this. So this is going to be a 7 instead. So it'll be 167.47. So my answer is going to be 167.47 inches cubed, and that'll be the estimated answer for the volume of this cone. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is another problem. Pretty much the exact same thing. However, just like with the cylinder, there's one key difference. I'm going to start it off the same way. V, pi, R, and H. I want to find all those. So if I start off with V, well, I'm trying to find a volume, so I'm going to put a question mark. Pi is always 3.14. And now I want to find R. Well, if I look at the circular part of the cone, this line goes all the way across, so that means that this is the diameter. So this is the diameter. So to find the radius, I know that I need to do the diameter, which is 3, and then divide it by 2 to find the radius. You could use your calculator, or if you know it by heart, you know that it's going to be 1.5 inches. 1.5. Now, we need to find the height. Well, the height is going to be this part, so it'll be 12 inches. Once you have all those pieces of information, draw your T-chart. So with the T-chart, I have the exact value on the left, estimated on the right. Then I rewrote the formula, and now I'm going to substitute all these values in, except for pi. So pi is going to stay the same. I know R, I could change it to 1.5 squared. H, I could change into 12. Now, same thing as last time. I'm only going to substitute these values in to the formula, into the calculator, and see what I get. So 1.5 squared times 12. So I'm going to substitute those values in. 1.5 squared times 12. 1.5 squared times 12. And we get 27. So I'm going to take 27, write it down. 27. Zoom in. And then bring down everything else. Then now I'm going to do 1/3 times 27, or what's 27 divided by 3. And then if you use a calculator, you should get 9. It should be 9 pi as the exact value, and then inches cubed. All right, once you have that, now to find the estimated value, I'm going to take this, rewrite it, V equals 9 pi, and now I'm going to replace pi with 3.14. So this is going to change it to 3.14. Everything else stays the same. I put that into the calculator and see what I get. So 9 times 3.14. And you get 28.26. And it's already at 2 decimal places, so I don't need to round anything. So 28.26. So the volume equals 28.26 cubic inches, or inches cubed. And then that's it. That's the volume of cones.